Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 359. It is Friday here in Cincinnati. It's a little sticky, cooler than it's been, gray outside. The leaves are falling. It's feeling like fall weather, and I think we're about to shift into some cooler temperatures. So this morning's run felt good, a little sticky, but cooler than it has been. I woke up really early this morning in the middle of a dream and got up to write down about my dream. And when I went for my run today, this song kept playing, and I'm going to read it to you. And then the title of the song is Surrender by Donna DeLore, and I have the sense that this whole podcast episode is about me surrendering and trusting the words that are going to flow through. And so as I read the lyrics, please know that it's as much for me as it is for you listening. I am also very aware that today is September 11th, that it is the 19th anniversary of a day that changed the world, that changed history, that changed consciousness and love. And I'm being very precise and aware of the words I'm choosing to articulate the energy that I feel, because I know the complexity of what this date means. I don't know. I have a sense of the complexity of emotions for so many people on this date. And my intention always in this space is for inclusion, for love to expand, for truth to be shared, for truth as I understand it and feel it, for light to always be guiding my path and my words, and for this movement towards unity and harmony and oneness always. That is my intention. And so I'm moving slowly through my word choices to honor all of those intentions. So we begin by the lyrics to Surrender by Donna DeLore. As with all songs, they're open to interpretation. This is simply my interpretation. Many artists that would be considered devotional or in the field of religion perhaps have their definition of who they're singing to or who they're singing about. And so maybe their intention of how they choose to sing the words isn't in complete alignment with how I would define it. But the flow of love and connection to an energy much bigger than we understand here in our human bodies, that is similar, that is parallel and in alignment. So I believe when Donna DeLore sang this or wrote this, perhaps she would use the word God or love or divine or Lord. I think she uses Lord in some of her other music. I always use the word source or energy, consciousness, one, love, universal consciousness, all. To me, those words are the same. It's the expansive energy and love that creates everything and that brings everything back together at some point. So here's her words. When I read it, I feel this as a love song from me, from my soul to my creator, my source, the one that I came from, the one I return to. And it just feels like such a powerful expression of love. So here's the words. And I'll put a link to the song in the description if you want to pause and listen to it now, or if you want to listen to it when I'm done or after the podcast. So here's what she says. Surrender by Donna DeLore. I have no choice now but to just let go. Let go of me and come to you. You've been so patient with me all this time. You still love me, even when I couldn't love you. All I want is to give this gift to you, the union of our love. I surrender. Take my breath in your hands. Now it's safe to come through. There's only you. I give myself to you. I surrender. I want to give up all control to you. Feel my heart beat in the pulse of your great hands. The storm is over. Now I call your name. Like a flower rising up to meet the sun, to be one. I was done. I was afraid you wouldn't love me here in my hiding place. I was alone. I was afraid you wouldn't love me here in my hiding place. My soul, you discovered it. I want to give whatever it takes, whatever, to accept only your love, only your love. Your love is all I need. It's all come true, this dream I've had of you. I surrender. I give myself to you. And then she just keeps chanting that over and over, and it's so beautiful. I think I played it 3 times on my run this morning. So what does that mean? Why do I share it with you today? How is this at all connected to the date of September 11th? When I was running, I was remembering the last time I had a public, that's not the right word. The fact that this podcast is always recorded on Fridays, and I didn't know when I switched to just Fridays that we would have a Friday that would be September 11th. It's significant to me that I'm creating a podcast on a date that has such significance in my journey and many people's journeys. 4 years ago, on September 11th, it was a Sunday, and on Sundays I do my meditations. And it was the first year I'd started doing that. It was the first year I'd opened my own business. I had just started hosting the space. I called it Soulshine at the time, and I have shared that recording. I'll put a link to it also in the description. In what I created, it was called a meditation podcast, Vibin's Gold, and in that, there's so much energy, it's hard to breathe. In that meditation, which I encourage you to listen to if you feel a match to it or resonance with it. In that meditation, it takes an hour to get through the whole energy of what was moving through me, and it began with just the basic steps of getting in the body and calming our body and running our energy and quieting the mind enough so that we were able to receive the message from my soul, from the souls of all who have been on this planet, from those who I believe left this planet on 9/11. The message I received was just of love, this expansive, immense, increasing capacity of love. And it took that whole hour for me to be able to transmit that message through and also to receive it for myself. And it was very intense and emotional as I listened to it again this morning, because my guides told me to, and that's what kept coming up on my run. As I was listening to this morning, I started crying again because it was just so powerful. The flow of love that was moving through that day in that recording, in that meditation space, was absolutely breathtaking and beautiful. I said the swear word, F word, in there too. I didn't realize that until I was listening to it today. I'm like, oh. Now I delete those words, but at least the F-bomb. But back then, apparently it was necessary. So please, if you listen to it, do not allow your children to hear it, or at least cover up that part. The mom in me, always trying to make sure those little ears are protected. So I share my reflections about 9/11 and my understanding of what happens to a soul when the soul leaves the human dimension and returns to what I call source or God or love, consciousness, the unified field of everything. What that transition is like, and what it means to us who stay behind here on this planet. And so I listened to that this morning and sat down in my own meditation space to prepare for this podcast. And I just kept saying to my guides, like, okay, we've said it all. There's nothing more to say. Maybe the podcast can just be, go listen to that meditation and we're done. We're done now. Thank you very much. And what I kept receiving was, that's not all. That's not all. There's so much more. There's so much more. And I can feel the word I just heard was trepidation. Resistance. I can feel the resistance in my body of, I don't want more. There can't be more. Wasn't that enough? That was so much love. Oh, like, how do we love more when our hearts are that wide open? How do we keep loving more than that? It's too scary. It's too risky. It's going to hurt. I talked about that in that recording. And my fear, specifically with my husband, my fear of loving so much and then perhaps losing that person and what that would feel like. And so it's safer to not love than to love and get hurt, than to love and to lose, to love and to have to let go. So what my guides kept saying to me is, this is the point of all that you are doing. Me, Viv, this soul in this little human body that's trying to navigate all of this awareness and energy and love. This is the point. It's always to keep expanding the heart. Always to keep expanding love. To love more. And when you think you've loved as much as you can, guess what? You're going to do even more love than that. And I can feel the tension in my body and my heart. My heart is like, oh, no. There isn't more room. There isn't more capacity to love more than this. So I call bullshit on myself because I know there's always more. And I know love is constantly just expanding and multiplying and rippling out in bigger and wider ways. So on this very significant date of 9/11, which also happens to be my grandmother's birthday. That one will make me cry. My grandmother, my momsy, who I talk about and just love on in this space. If you haven't listened to Honoring Our Grandmothers, which is, I don't know, way back episode, you'll be able to feel my love for her in that recording. But it's her birthday, and I know the love that she holds as a soul for me, and the space that she holds as a soul for my soul's growth and expansion. And so today feels significant for that reason also. Oh, this resistance. It's like a thing inside of my body. So why would we feel resistance to loving more? I feel it's important to name some of these, and perhaps in naming them, we can create some movement of that resistance. And so I'll name the ones that have been true for me, and perhaps there are matches for you. You may have another whole list of the reasons why it would be wise to resist more love. So as my whole body's like shaking right now, as I name them, we're going to release them, because that is the point of awareness. It's to see it, to name it, to understand it, and then to let it go. Because when we hold on to it, we keep resisting, and it becomes a story, and then it becomes a fact, and then it's ingrained in us, and we hand it from one lineage over to the next lineage, from one relationship right into the next relationship, and we never let it go. So I am going to name some reasons why I have resisted allowing more love, and as I name them, I'm releasing them. So what that feels and looks like to me is energy going from my head, which has the thought, to my throat, which is going to name it, down into my heart, which is going to relax, and then the energy is going to flow through my stomach, through my second chakra, through my root chakra, down my legs, and into the earth. And we'll create a flow, and as I name it, it will flow down, and the earth will receive it. I can just feel my guides laughing at me like, and this is what we wanted you to do today. And do you see why you were resisting it and you wanted to just pass it off and do the meditation? Funny stuff. Funny stuff. If I can laugh at myself, then you can certainly laugh at yourself along with me. All right, the biggest reason for me of why I would resist love is because I have to say goodbye. Oh, that's such a big one for me. It has been such a big one for me because my story has been I'm always saying goodbye. I'm always saying goodbye. And I have said goodbye many, many times because my journey in this lifetime has been to move to lots of places and meet lots of people. And in that moving, I have said hello to many people and I've said goodbye to many people. And so loving often means saying goodbye. What is true, what I know to be true, is that goodbyes are temporary. They're so temporary. And they're just a blink. Because the moment that we leave this human journey and melt back into consciousness, dissolve into non-physical, leave this energy field of Gaia, Earth, and return to the universe, we're immediately back with all of those we've ever loved. They're saying goodbye. We can say goodbye here in the human journey, right? I'm friends with this one, and then I move to a different city or a different place, and things get busy, and so we're no longer hanging out, and you're still alive and I'm still alive, but we're still friends. But it's a goodbye because we're not in each other's day all the time. That goodbye doesn't feel quite as heart-wrenching to me as the goodbyes have felt when the physical leaves, when the human leaves, when their physical journey is over and they return back to heaven or source or whatever word you want to use. And so I have spent much of my life loving really hard and big and trying to hold everybody all the time, so that if they say goodbye in a physical way and return back to being love, I've said everything I need to say and there's nothing I would regret. And so I have feared those goodbyes. And what is true is they're always all around me. Right before I started this podcast, I was checking in with my guides, and I could feel them next to me, around me, angels at my back. And then it was like this audience of souls. This is what it looked like to me. This classroom of souls sitting in front of me with my eyes closed. They were just lined up. Just lots and lots and lots of souls waiting to see what I would say. And what I can feel in this moment, the joy that's moving through my body, is all of those I've ever loved and lost, in air quotes, lost, said goodbye to, are sitting right in front of me, waiting to hear what I want to say about them. Because they're right here. Their energy, their existence, they are love, they're love, and they're right here. My grandmother is right by my side. Where else would she be as I talk about her on her birthday than sitting by my side? So, resisting love because we might have to say goodbye. I can let that one go because there is no goodbye. There might be a pause in the ways that we have been used to communicating or seeing those that we love. It might feel different than it used to feel. We may not actually be able to hug them or hold their hand or have dinner with them, but haven't we been learning this also through this experience of COVID and quarantine? How do we connect with those that we love when they're not physically able to come and have a meal with us or come in and hug us or smile because we have masks on? Guess what? We open up a phone or a video camera or a computer screen and we Zoom. We Zoom with each other. We see each other. We keep the connections open. Consciousness is showing us in this physical realm of Earth a way to understand what happens when those in the human dimension say goodbye and return to the other side of the screen, to the other side of the video camera, when they go back into the universe. And here we sit on Earth. The word I hear is wah. Like, we're sad and lonely and upset because they're not here to play with us anymore. Close your eyes. Close your eyes, open up your third eye, open up your screen. See them, feel them. Allow them to massage your heart chakra, to rub your shoulders, to help you understand they're not gone. They're not. They're all around us. All the time. They're all around us. Okay. So reason number 1 for me is about saying goodbye. And clearly, we're not saying goodbye. We're saying hello. We never say goodbye. We might say good night or see you tomorrow. See you later. Oh, my kids and I, we had that book. I think I read it here. Hasta mañana, iguana. See you tomorrow. Okay. Why else would I resist love? The words I heard, and I didn't realize this was a thing for me, but the words I heard are, it'll be taken. Like my energy will be zapped. I'll be drained. The love will be taken from me. I won't have enough for myself. I'll be giving so much. If my heart expands and I love more people, I'm going to have to give more people more love, and then I will have nothing left, and I'll be tired or exhausted or sick or all these heavy things. So perhaps the guidance, this is what I'm feeling from my soul, from my own guides, is love is an exchange. We give and we receive. We give and we receive. And if we are more comfortable giving than we are receiving, then yes, we're going to feel depleted. If we expand our capacity wider, but all we're doing is giving and we're blocking so that the energy can't come back in and fulfill us and exchange with us and keep this cycle of of energy moving, giving, receiving, flowing this energy through, then yes, if we aren't open to that, we will feel depleted. And so I could understand why I would resist expanding my capacity if I'm afraid I will be depleted. So my invitation to myself, my invitation to you, if you have a match to this, is how do I get better at receiving? How do I trust? How do I trust the power of love to generate a flow of energy that is cycling, giving and receiving through my days, through my schedule, through my activities, through my words, through my offerings? How do I trust that? And that requires a leap of faith. It requires stretching our understanding of love. It requires trust. It's also as simple as moving the resistance. So flowing any resistance down to our feet and into the earth, and trusting that Source, the universe, is going to replenish us. And so the flow of love coming in through our crown or through our heart chakra will just wash through our bodies and rinse out any resistance and send it down into the earth. And we just receive. We receive from Source. Perhaps that is one of the biggest blocks. It's not typically one, well, I'll name it. I don't believe it's one I have. I believe my block has been more human to human than Source to me. But for many, I believe the trust that Source or universe or love or God will constantly replenish us, will give to us as much as we're giving out. I believe many people block their crown chakra and their heart chakra and say, oh, God has forgotten me, or I'm separate from Source because I'm here in the human dimension or realm. And that may feel true to you, but if you're hearing me say this back to you, I would say it's false. It's a false thought. It's an error of thought. And so can you be open to considering that it may be false? And perhaps what is true is that you're resisting that love coming in from God or Source. You're resisting that oneness. You're believing you are separate from God or love or consciousness. And that may take you on a journey of discovery that was the only reason you were meant to hear this podcast, which, if that's the case, oh my gosh, yay! Yay! I love when anyone begins a journey of discovery with their connection to their God. I think that is the most delightful of journeys. For me, I feel replenished every day with Source energy. I constantly feel this flow of love moving through me from God, from the universe, and I often see myself as this conduit of that energy from above through me into the earth. Just this flow. It's not always as easy from me to other humans. I have an old story. Oh, my guides are just like putting their thumbs on my shoulder, telling me to look at this. I have an old story that says, what does it say? What does it say? It's safer for me to give to you because then I'm in control than for me to wait to receive from you because then you're in control. Oh, ouch. That's one for me to sit with and look at a little more. Yes, the word control in the lyrics by that Donna DeLory song. How did she say it? I want to give up all control to you. Feel my heartbeat in the pulse of your great hands. The storm is over, now I call your name. Like a flower rising up to meet the sun. To be one. Yes, it's much easier for me to believe that about God or Source than about humans because we humans are kind of messy. We're kind of messy, and control is just this thing that we've gotten really good at manipulating. So that old story is ready to be released, and I am opening to a more graceful giving and receiving exchange of love from myself to all the humans I engage with, to receive in equal measure to what I give, and to allow that exchange to happen through my heart chakra with no attachment, no expectation, just this beautiful, easy expansion of love that flows out and comes back in. It flows out and comes back in. And releasing any resistance all the way down through my legs, through my feet and into the earth. If you have a match to that, I encourage you to spend some time with it, just like I will later. Spend some time with what is coming up as I'm naming all of this, and allow awarenesses to happen. The original question again was, how am I resisting increasing my capacity for love? One that I feel pop up, and this will be the last one for right now. I'll continue this on my own, but this will be the last one in this space. The words I heard was, or this is the feeling of it. It can't get any better. It can only be so good. It can only be so good, and I already have it so good. It can't get better than that. And of course it can. My mind, my body, my heart knows that, and yet I've held this story for a long time. I already have so much. It's greedy to want more love. It's greedy to want more spaciousness in my schedule. It's greedy to want more beautiful, rich relationships like I already have. I have enough. I shouldn't want any more than that. I'll explain it this way. There's this beautiful meditation. You can look it up. I talk about it often. It's called the I Am Meditation by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it's on YouTube. And he introduces this concept of I am, and there's a whole story about it. You can listen to it. But in it, he says, in this meditation, which is just music, 20 minutes of music in loops, in the meditation, in your mind, he suggests that you say, I am, whatever it is you want to work on, out to the universe. And then I am, and you hear the universe saying it back to you. So for me, when I say it, like yesterday in my bath, I was saying, I am here now. And I sent that message out to Source. I am here now. And then you imagine Source says it back. So I'm sitting in my bathtub, and I imagine I hear Source going, I am here now. Back to me as I'm sitting in the bathtub. And all I could think is, oh, we're hanging out. You're here. I'm here. We're both here now. I am here now. I am here now. And there's this incredible recognition that whatever I say out to the universe is saying it back to me. Because the universe is that thing I'm sending out. So when I say to the universe, I am limiting myself, and I can only have so many great loves in my life and so many free hours of playtime, I'm telling the universe, guess what? You only, Source, you only have so many relationships and so many hours of free time that you get to have. Because Source is going to say that back to me, because I'm the one sending the command out, and then that's being repeated back. So can you feel how I'm limiting everything? Everything. When I send a limited thought out, it limits what the universe is now able to expand into, because I've said to Source, this is all you get. You only get a couple people who are really cool in your journey, that's it. No. I should say yes. What Source would say is, yes, how many do you want? How much free time would you like to have? Time can be unlimited. How do we tap into unlimited time? Can you feel the expansion when we know we are speaking directly to Source and Source is repeating our words back to us? Source would want me to say, I believe, there is unlimited love available for me, for you, for all of us. There is infinite capacity for joy and connection and harmony and wellness and healing. We already are one unified energy field. Wow. In the meditation that I described earlier about 9/11, I said, I'm humbled. And I was crying, I'm humbled. And I feel that same humility in this moment of how abundantly blessed am I, are you, are each one of us, to be in this possible vibration of love, of inclusion, of oneness. How blessed are we? And yet we make up all these stories, myself included, we make up all these stories in our minds and we cement them into our lives and lock into them and believe them, that we don't deserve that much love, or we are kicked out of that energy field, or there's so many crazy mind stories we make up. So my prayer, my mantra, my invitation to myself in this moment is to release any resistance to more love, to flow through my body, to receive and flow through my body infinite love, ever expanding love. I believe in that intention. I honor love of all of those who are here on this planet, and love of all of those who have transitioned, and all of those who sit as souls in front of me, watching me, giving me a thumbs up. Like, good job doing your work. As it's recorded for others to do their work with you. Good job. That's what a teacher does. Good job. And also, I'm such a student. I'm such a student of Source, of love, and yeah. I don't know that I have anything else to add to that. I am here now. I feel you here now with me, and my heart is full and expanding. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in to this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me on Sunday mornings for an hour of meditation, visualization, and energy healing, where we realign our mind, body, spirit with Gaia and Source. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.